Hey guys, so today I'm going to be teaching you how to do some graphic design art on Photoshop. So I'm just going to be teaching you how to do a simple target with some arrows sticking in the middle and then a shadow. So what to do first? So you're going to want to create a new document. Right now I'm at 720 pixels by 680, but you can pick the desired length that you want, and if your target ends up being too small or the paper too big, you can always crop it at the end. So I'm just going to press OK. And now we're going to want to create our background color. And for this, we're just going to go to create a new fill or adjustment layer. We're going to go to solid color and then pick whatever color that you want for your background. So I'm going to want to do a green, but of course you could take any color that you want, but one of my favorite colors is green, so I'm just going to use green. So after this, you're going to go to another fill layer and then press solid color, and now you're going to want to pick any color that you want your target to be. So I want my target to be red, so I'm just going to pick the red. And so from this, now we're going to want to create our rings, our first ring, and be able to make the ring red, but then the background to stay the green color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my marquee tool, pick my ellipse tool, and then you're just going to press shift and then drag out. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in the center. I want to make it more in the upper right or upper left corner only because my arrows are going to be sticking out. So from here, now you have a selection, but now what you want to do is make sure that the circle stays red, but then the background is going to be what you want for your background color. So for this, we're just going to do select and inverse. So what this does is it selects everything outside of the circle. And so what we're going to want to do now is actually fill this layer with white. And so that way you'll see that this background color, the red, will go away and replace it with this green. So we're just going to press Shift Delete. Whoops, you're going to want to work in your mask layer before you do anything. So Shift Delete, and we're going to fill it with, whoops, we're going to fill it with white, with black, my bad. So we're going to fill it with black, and as you can see, everything becomes green except for the circle. And so now we're going to want to make our consecutive rings. And for this, we're going to go back to select and inverse, so that way we're working just directly inside of our circle. And so from here, you're going to want to actually transform the circle and then fill in the rings consecutively, black and white, and then just switch off with the colors, so that way we can get our desired look. So we're going to go to select, we're going to do transform selection, so it selects the whole entire circle. We're just going to press Option Shift and drag our rings inside until we get the desired width that we want. I'm going to press Enter and then Shift Delete and fill this with white. Oops, with black. Sorry about that. So Shift Delete or fill with black. And so of course you see that the red goes away, but the red is still here. It's just that we can continue filling them so that way they'll alternate. So once again, we're going to transform this. I'm just going to keep doing this until we get as many rings that we want. And we're going to do Shift Option and then drag in the center. And so this one, I'm going to do Shift Delete. I'm going to fill this one with white. So then you can get your black back. And then we're just going to keep doing this. I'm probably going to do just a few more so we get that desired look. It's about good. Press Enter, Shift Delete, and then we're going to change back to black. Okay, I'm just going to do this a couple more times. So select. And of course, there are quick keys that you can use for transformation or even switching these colors. Right now, I'm just going to show you the easy option because different computers have different quick keys. So, just making it easier for everybody. I'm going to do Shift Delete, Enter Shift Delete. I'm just going to do this 2 more times so that way my center is completely filled. So I'm going to drag it in. And once again, you can make this any color that you want, but I would say this is about good. So now we have our target. So now we want to make these inside rings white or whatever color that you want, but keep the background. So for this, we're going to once again create another solid color adjustment layer, but this time fill it with white, or of course any other color that you want the rings to be. So once we do that, make sure that we put it right below our target layer. And now we're going to want to take our circle marquee tool again, and just select, we're just going to want to select our middle of our middle target. That's about good. And we're going to go over here to select an inverse because we want, of course, the background color to show, but keep the white inside. So we are just going to make sure that you're working in your mask layer. And we're going to fill that with black. And then just press Apple D and then your selection will go away. Okay, so from here, we're going to want to go ahead and make our arrows. And for that, I'm just going to work in this layer. And we're going to go back to our marquee tool and then press the rectangular. So from this, we can get the desired look that we want for our arrows. So just drag it out to like the size that you want. Let me say about there, it's good. And so now we have the shape that we want our arrows to be, but now we need to get the color. So once again, we're just going to create another solid adjustment layer and then make it the color that you want. I'm just going to go with a simple brown. And as you can see, it just shows up. Actually, I'm going to change this color one more time. So for changing the color, you can actually just double click on this color right here, and then you can always go ahead and change it. So now I got my arrow stem, but now we're going to want to create our feathers. And so for this, we are just going to create another selection again, but this time we're going to do it with our lasso tool. So we're just going to create just a rough pattern for our arrow. So I'm probably going to want to start about right there. Just going to go up, and then I like to hold shift whenever I'm making straight lines, so that way I can get it completely perfect. And then just in the middle, I'm going to go up again, press shift, and then meet directly in the middle. So now we have our selection. And now you're going to want to fill this again. So of course we're going to go to another adjustment layer and pick the color that you want. I'm just going to make the feathers white. So then we got that. But then to make that desired arrow look, you're just going to put feathers right below your stem. And so then we get this. And so now if you want to make another arrow, like I had in my first picture, you are just going to want to, first you want to combine these two layers, the two arrow layers. So we're just going to press shift and then click on the stem and the feather. And from this, you can just drag it right into a folder, which combines them. And I'm just going to rename it arrow, just so I remember what it is. And so from here, you can actually now just, you're going to want to transform this so we can copy them over. So we're going to select, and we're going to go select and go to oops, to transform selection. So select, no, I'm just gonna copy this by holding Option. So then you get an arrow copy. So from here, you're going to want to just transform this. And then we're going to take our focal point and just put it down at the very center so that way we can rotate it, but then, you know, keep it in the same place. So we're just going to go here and, oops, and we're going to just tilt it. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And then, of course, you can always drag it and place it wherever you want. You don't have to necessarily put it in the center like that. That's exactly where I like it. So now we have our arrows, but now we want to create that drop shadow that I had in the very beginning. And for this, actually I'm just gonna move my arrows just a little bit more in the center. Oops. Okay. So now I want to create our shadow. For this, it's actually quite simple. So what we're gonna want to do is we're gonna want to make just a new layer, and we're just gonna move it right above our, below our targets in our arrows, but right above our background color. So we're gonna go ahead and click the lasso tool, and we're just gonna just make a rough line, and then I want to come down over here outside the frame, and I'm just gonna connect these. Go about right there. And of course, this is not like a realistic shadow, but for graphic design, it just the aesthetic is good. So now we have our selection, and now we're going to fill it with whatever color we want. So we're going to go here, click our color, and just make it a different, just darker color, so that way it looks like a shadow. So actually I'm going to go over here and just make it a little darker. And then just fill that, oops, fill that in. And there you go. You have your target, your arrows, and your drop shadow. So it was quite simple. Hope you guys liked it, and hope it was semi-helpful. And you can definitely use this technique for anything else. So thank you guys for watching. More videos to come.